We all know what it's like to see a clone of a certain game come up and become popular. In fact, in the beginning of gaming, genre was essentially just clones of an old game. Well, obviously the landscape has evolved quite a bit since then, and gaming is very diverse in style and substance. Except on mobile. When you get onto any app store, there's 100 flappies, 100 dashes, 100 jumps, 1,000 jewel-based swap puzzle games, and there's even a bunch of rip-offs of Angry Birds. Although in its defense, Angry Birds is Angry Birds. They did a good job sticking a claim on that. But still, it begs the question, and Gameranx is itching to find the answer: why are most mobile games such sleazy, recycled crap? Mobile games feel like they've been around forever, but really it was just last decade when they started. And yes, you could say that handheld games have been around for a very long time, but mobile is not handheld. It's a different market, a different type of game, and it asks a different question. Handheld being, would you carry around a device specifically to play games on? And mobile being, would you like to play some games on your phone? And it's actually in the answer of that question that starts to explain exactly what it is that makes mobile games such a platform that is open for the type of copycat development that any very serious gaming platform has been pretty much past for quite a while now. Some people do, but generally people don't buy a phone for gaming. I didn't, and I like playing games on my phone, but that's not why I own it. It's a communication device. I'm able to call people and text people using it. I can organize my day, I can keep track of what I'm doing, and I can keep in contact with people that I generally wouldn't be able to otherwise because of things like distance or even scheduling. The fact that it is a gaming device is a complete afterthought. And I do play games well, don't get me wrong. I'd wager people expected the iPhone to change their lives in a productive way, as opposed to in an entertaining way. And you know how people call certain mobile games very addictive? For lack of a better word, these games are addictive. I sincerely doubt anyone predicted that. Well, except maybe the publishers of the games themselves, but we'll talk about that in a second. And I'm not making light of people with addiction, because that's a very serious thing to say. In fact, I'm actually talking about how mobile games are often designed with addiction as a mechanic of the game development itself. Clash of Clans, for instance, is set up in a manner where you basically have to come back later or spend money doing things now. Games along these lines also often have a bunch of mechanics in place that will make you want to come back. You might accomplish something, but you think, well, I'm not done. You can always get a higher score. You have to beat your friends. There's a new bonus this week. There can be prizes. And you need to post that shit on the social media once you've gotten it because you just achieved the status you aspired to. Which, by the by, isn't an actual real status in real life. It's simply something that you got in a virtual world, be it an achievement or whatever. And nothing against achievements in a game where, well, you've already paid for the whole game and the achievements aren't something that just keep you pumping cash into it in order to get to. Achievements are actually cool as shit. However, publishers understand that you think they're cool as shit. So in these free-to-play games, you can either wait forever to get an achievement, or build a better base, or manage to snag a better power-up so that that score can go up, 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 or you can pay to get there. And that's essentially what people attempted to capitalize on. The idea is to nurture a dependence, which in essence is addiction. I don't know if you've ever heard of somebody playing Clash of Clans and spending hundreds of dollars on it, but it happens. And it doesn't happen to people who look at the game from a rational perspective. It happens to people who have been initiated into a different perspective on that game. You don't buy these games, and why would you? You could spend your time on them. But here's the most fun trick of all. You don't have a lot of time. This game's on your phone, and you're not using your phone for games 24/7. They run out of batteries, and you need them for other stuff. So why would you spend the time when you could spend the money? It's easy to make money. For one, you don't have to get a platform in anyone's face. The phone's in their face anyway. Facebook and Twitter did that for you. For two, when you get a high score, you need to make it so that everyone on Facebook and on Twitter hears about that high score. So all the relatives hear about the game automatically. Eventually, these games become ubiquitous. It's part of the phone. And again, you've got to have a phone. If you don't have a phone, you're going to miss stuff. Whether it's a job offer or somebody asks you out, you're gonna miss something. But being everyone has a phone, we're not talking about a hardcore gaming audience. We're talking about a much more generalized audience, and that is people with phones. People who haven't literally grown up with the idea of an achievement, you know, in the gaming sense. People who aren't numb to every little message that pops up on the top of the screen and tells you something. I'm not calling them unintelligent, but they are definitely not savvy to what gaming is. It's much harder for them to suss out something that they might consider a little bit scummy because they haven't experienced these things like all of us have. They haven't spent years talking about how microtransactions are ruining everything. They haven't spent years talking about front-loading gameplay and leaving the content for later. Their experience doesn't reach into the same world that ours does, and mobile game publishers know this. Everything is engineered around sucking people in, and the reason why so many mobile games are so similar is because they're a game built around a business model, not a business model built around a game. Why are there 400 Clash of Clans ripoffs and it seems like no one cares? Because that business model has been proven. So how could we implement a Clash of Clans business model? Oh, that's simple, just hire some artists and programmers and do it. Make it in space or something. Or hell, use a popular brand that has to do with space. Like, maybe Star Wars? Yeah, let's use Star Wars. This game is infinite, it can go on forever. All we have to do is just give little rewards to players along the way so it feels like they're getting somewhere, but they're really, truly not. In fact, we are the only people getting somewhere because we're on the other end of the microtransactions. You, on the other hand, think that it's important to have this item or a certain amount of that resource to create this item. That way you can beat your friends on Facebook and simultaneously let everyone else who isn't playing the game know about the game so they can come in and you can stomp all over their face, but then tell them what victory tastes like so they'll want some too. But virtual victory for you means real life victory for people who are cultivating a dependence and therefore an addiction in you and your family and your friends and that random person that added you last week. These business models are based around addiction, and the games are based around the business models. And what does that create? Well, it sure doesn't make works of art. And to be completely fair, there are a lot of wonderful mobile games that are art and make me think and make me feel and make me jump up and down in joy for the thing that I just accomplished, and in no way resemble the sleazy, recycled crap that we're talking about in this video. And by the way, people who are making games that go above and beyond this type of thing, I salute you, thank you. But why aren't more people doing that? I think part of it is that people just won't demand that these games get better. But that also comes from the idea that they're cultivating a base of people that are never going to demand that type of thing. Frankly, they don't even want to bother with people who would make demands of any sort. Instead, they target people that aren't that experienced in games, and this is their exposure. This is what games are to them. But you don't get into deep conversation about stuff that isn't deep. Well, unless you're me. Essentially, if you boil it down, mobile games are recycled crap because mobile game publishing companies have discovered that the magic formula for free money is cultivating a base of people that, out of inexperience with gaming, don't question a lot of the practices and therefore become flat out addicted to the games. This doesn't really encourage anybody to make games that are unique in the gaming world and push all the thought buttons on the gamer brain. So again, when mobile developers do go that extra mile and give you a really unique, powerful, interesting game, that's why when I actually have legitimate fun with a new mobile game, I'm like, yes! But anyway, unless people start taking mobile games like way more serious, and I don't mean like they want to get really good at them, I mean like they discuss them on a philosophical level like we're doing right now, it's really easy to just let the game set. And that makes it really easy for mobile game publishers to also let the game set. There's just not a demand for games to diversify and become something bigger on the platform. And don't get me wrong, I would love it if that happened, but I just don't think it's going to, at least anytime soon. Why do you think mobile games are recycled crap? Meet me down in the comments, we'll have a chat about that. Also, if you enjoyed this video, please click the like button, and if you're not subscribed yet, now's a great time to do so. We upload brand new videos every single day of the week, and the best way to see them first is a subscription. As always, thank you so much for watching this video, and we will see you again next time right here on Gameranx.